Coach Sibiya, thank you very much for your time. And let me also congratulate you on reaching the last 16 of the Nedbank Cup, of which you are preparing for here today. Before we get into the Nedbank Cup, can you just quickly remind us of your journey in football as a coach? Where did it start, and how the teams you've been to before getting here?
Yeah, I'm Kabelo Sibiya, the head coach of Black Eagles. I started at Obit FC, is playing in the ABC Motsepe in the Northwest as an assistant coach. Then later I moved to a team at Port Elizabeth, which is Highbury FC. After Highbury, I went to Platinum City Rovers, which is playing in the South Africa now. And then after Platinum City Rovers, I went to Motsepe FC in the ABC Motsepe, where we won the league 3 times at Motsepe. ABC Motsepe went to the playoffs, qualified for Nedbank last 32 also. After Motsepe, I went to Amavarara, where we qualified for last 32 also at Amavarara in the Eastern Cape. Went to Umvuti, Durban, KZN, where we qualified for Nedbank last 32. We went to TS Sporting in the South Africa, where we finished 4th last season in the South Africa, missing the promotional playoffs with one goal, which was a minus goal. And then we also qualified for last 16 last season with TS Sporting. A season before that, we lost in the quarterfinals against Bloemfontein Celtics of the Nedbank. Yeah, now I came to Black Eagles, where we started October last year. We are in our 5th month now with this club.
Coach, you've detailed your journey in the ABC Motsepe League and some of your achievements. And then I think it was a natural progression for you to then go to the Great Africa Championship with TS Sporting. Then one has to ask that, having made the step, the next step obviously will be to remain in the Great Africa Championship or take a step to the PSL. How come you took a step back to the ABC Motsepe League?
Yeah, honestly, with my background of having not played football at the PSL level, it is not easy for the coaches that have not played football at the PS level in the country. Most of the times, the former professional players of Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, Miami Sundowns, they are given more chance than us, even when they don't have the coaching background. When they just retire, sometimes they are made the assistant coaches of the PSL teams. At times they are made the head coaches of the South Africa teams. So it was obviously going to be a challenge, even for me to get the chance at TS Sporting. I really thank and I'm really grateful for the opportunity that I was given by the chairman of that club. It's not easy, honestly. Having coming from the Northwest, where there's no coaches in the Premier League. The only coach that was there, it was Sheikh Mashaba, who was in the national team back then. And then, honestly, the last season I was the only coach that is in one of the 32 PSL teams that was in the country. So it was always going to be a challenge for me to get another opportunity just like that. I just have to prove myself and hope that someone out there will give me another opportunity after what I've done with the TS Sporting in my first season as a head coach, having finished 4th in the league, having qualified for the Nedbanks, beating TS Sporting, a PSL team last season in the Nedbank to go to the last 16. Even the season before that, having qualified for the quarterfinals, only to lose to Bloemfontein Celtics in the quarterfinals. So yeah, it was always going to be a challenge for me to get an opportunity again. But I'm still hopeful that someone out there will give me an opportunity.
Coach, you touch a very critical issue in terms of opportunities for coaches who have not played at the highest level versus coaches who have played at the last level. And maybe it's a conversation that the football fraternity must have one day. But with regards to Northwest, what is the state of football in Northwest? Why do you think, like you said at some point, you were the only coach from Northwest in the PSL, and by PSL I include both the DSTV Premiership and Great Africa. Why do you think you were the only one? What is the status of football in Northwest that leads to a situation where the PSL only has one coach from that area?
Yeah, honestly, I can say people from the province in the Northwest, they don't want to invest much in football like in other provinces that I've been. I've been in the Eastern Cape, I've been at Mpumalanga, I've been at Durban, I'm in Gauteng now. We are playing our games in the Northwest. Our people, they don't invest that much in the game that side. And another challenge is we grew up, there was no team from PSL in the Northwest, there was no team in the Great Africa. Yes, when Platinum Stars was there, they gave us hope, they gave a lot of players an opportunity. There's coaches that got courses to come that side because of Platinum Stars, Royal Bafokeng Holdings taking that initiative. Just after that, the football went back. Yes, we have Platinum City Rovers, which is based in Gauteng also, but playing in the Northwest. So honestly, the state of football in the Northwest province is need a bit of injection of money in terms of the people that are from the province willing to go as far as other people are going in the other provinces.
Having said good coach, then how important is it that this season a team from the Northwest is being promoted into the Great Africa Championship? And again, the issue of teams, for example, like you said, Black Eagles plays in the HBC Motsepe League Northwest, they play their game there, but they are based in Gauteng. And so those dynamics, how do you think they influence the state of football in Northwest?
Yeah, obviously they make the league competitive because these teams from Gauteng, they invest. You see, even in our team, we have 70% of former professional players, which makes the league more interesting, more competitive. But when it comes to growth and football development in the province, it would be nice for a team, another team to get promoted. But it would make more sense if that team is based in the Northwest, is training in the Northwest, it's developing football in the Northwest. People are getting the opportunities that are in the Northwest. There's soccer clinics that are going on. The hope of the province, because everyone will relate with that team. The team is around. Unlike the team getting promoted and then it's only going to the Northwest to play games the whole week, the whole year. They spend most of their life in Gauteng. It's still not going to benefit the growth of football in that province. So that is the only unfortunate part about the whole thing. So one wish that Black Eagles can be the hope of Northwest province.
Coach, thank you very much for just giving us a brief idea of the state of football in the province. Having said that you were in the Great Africa Championship, you made a step back to ABC Motsepe League. What was it about this project, Black Eagles, that appealed to you and made you say, look, rather than looking for another team, Great Africa Championship, I'm prepared to go to this team, I'm prepared to go and try to take them to the Great Africa Championship?
Yeah, honestly, I was not sacked by TS Sporting. I'm the one who said, let me step back and give someone else a chance. And then I went back home. I got a call from Venda Football Academy, which they also inquired about my availability as a coach. And then I got a call of Richards Bay also. They inquired about me. So yeah, in the process, while I was still waiting for those teams to get back to me, I got a call from other teams, Sivutsa from Mpumalanga in the ABC Motsepe. I got a call from Liruma in Gauteng. Then I told them to wait. I still want to take a break. I took a month break without joining any other club. Then I got a call from the CEO of Black Eagles. They showed me the vision of the club, what they want to achieve. By the time there was no player, they had nothing. It was only the equipment and the management. So we sat down, we had a discussion, we talked. Then I was very much interested in what they were offering me personally, and I was more interested in what they were saying they can deliver in terms of the offers of the players, if I need a certain type of players, because we had no time, we had no preseason, already other teams had started. So for them saying that they will be able to meet the terms of the players that I will want, and for them to guarantee me that they will run the club in a professional way in which they never disappointed. That's what had me deciding to join this club, because of the vision that was there, because of the discussion that we had before I joined the club. So yeah, that was the reason why I chose to come to Black Eagles.
Coach, I like that when you came, it was just management. They just said acquired the status. And so it means, as a coach, you had the opportunity to put together a technical team, put together the squad that you want. That process, coach, what were you looking for when you were looking to put together a technical team? And in terms of recruiting players, what is it you were looking for that will align with your coaching philosophy?
Yeah, honestly, we had 1 week to do everything, because the next week we were playing the first top 4 of Nedbank of ABC Motsepe teams. So I had to go for the players that I've coached before. 80% of the squad, I've worked with them before. I coached them in various clubs that I coached. I have about 6-7 players that I coached at TS Sporting. I have 3 players that I coached at Buyamsoto. I had 2 players that I coached at Mvoti. I had players that I coached at Highbury. So it's a mixture of players that I worked with, because I didn't have time. It was going to take time for players to understand my ideology. So I had to look at that. I recruited people that I worked with before. The condition trainer, Jabu Mutibi, I worked with him at Orbit College. I worked with him at Buyamsoto. I worked with him at TS Sporting. So it was going to be easy for me to have someone that will be able to condition the players as per the requirement of the playing model of the club. So yeah, in terms of Coach Mukite, I knew exactly how he worked before with his achievement as a coach also. Him being a former professional player also, and then the coach Errol, the goalkeeper coach, and I knew his background, has always wanted to work with me, so it was easy to bring him in. Shares the physio also, as she has been in the game for long. So it was a mixture of a background of knowing each other. So that is why even we settled easy and earlier as a club. It was going to take us longer, but honestly, even the management, they were surprised when they only said I must build a team. I said I want to qualify for Nedbank last 32. The same day where we didn't have players. Then they said to me, qualify for Nedbank last 32 with who? I said, with the players that will acquire as a club. So we ended up achieving that, but thanks to the relationship that I built with the players before, the relationship that I built with the technical members before, which is very key in football.
Coach, there's a lot of talk in football about ideology, philosophy. Some say a coach will say, no, I'm a possession-based football coach, and many other terms that we hear about. Can you tell us your approach to football, your philosophy, your ideology, but in simple terms, coach? Don't confuse us. Coaches sometimes use words that we do not understand. There's football terminology that some of us regular fans do not understand. In simple terms, what is your approach to football?
Yeah, I'm a coach who is more results-driven. Coaching in the ABC Motsepe, having coached in the Athlete Africa, it's a promotional league. One is mandated to promote the club, one is mandated to qualify for Nedbank and go as far as you can. So I believe in a more of a penetration football, where one has to play to get into from build-up phase, quickly get into the consolidation phase, getting into the penetration phase, finishing phase as quickly as possible, play more on the opponent's half, being dominant on possession, being dominant in the number of chances that have been created. And then once we lose the ball, I want to quickly counter press, try and recover the ball quickly, force the opponent to make errors, defend as high as we can in the pitch. I'm not a coach that wants to be dominated, that wants to sit back and play on the zonal marking where give opponents a lot of time on the ball. I want to play with the ball. I want to have the ball more. I want to have the ball. When we lose it, I want us to recover it quickly. So that is my ideology. I believe that I need to be dominant. You need to run faster than opponent to be dominant. You need to be safe on the ball with your passing. You need to have some arrogance in your game. And I also believe on skillful players, quick and skillful. It gives you a chance and an advantage if you have players that can be able to dribble in any situation.
I like what I'm hearing, Coach. As one coach, so what you're saying I really like. Going into the league, Coach, like you said, it's been a very, very short time. You had very little time to put together a team, but the results show that you are a team that is really dominant in the league. You are a team, one wouldn't say that this team was put together within a week, or the team has only been around for 5 months. You played 12 games, won 11, 0 draws and only 1 loss, and you are top of the log. I checked the log and I see that they still stand in your remaining 4 games. You just need 2 wins and you'll have won the stream. What would you attribute this success to, having been there for a very, very, very short time?
Yeah, honestly, I have to give a lot of praise to the president of the club, Mr. Lekau Sehona, who has invested a lot in a short period of time. We wanted this type of match balls. He brought us the balls. We wanted specific training field, which you can see the field that we are using here at it's a top class training field. It comes with expenses. We wanted to travel with a certain transport to go to the games. In certain games, we were traveling the day before the game to Mafikeng and sleep there, play on Saturday. I mean, honestly, the man has gone out of his way to make it easier for us. And then also, I must give credit to the management of the club, particularly the CEO of the club. She has been hands-on. She has been trying her best in all the situations. She has been helpful. Yeah, I think because she has a football background, played football herself, it was a bit easier. And then I also want to give credit to the technical team. They've been very supportive, they've been very patient with me. I'm a very demanding coach, but they've been patient with me, and most of all, I want to give credit to the players. We put them under extreme pressure. Some of them, we got them, they were not attached to any club, they were unfit. We pushed them in a short period of time. Conditioning wise, they are playing matches in the in-season preparation, so it was not easy. We had to do a lot of recoveries, a lot of long training. Sometimes we had to train 2 hours sessions. So I must compliment the guys for the passion that they've shown in the game, the patience that they've shown in the game, the willpower that they've shown in the game. Without them, honestly, without their patience, we couldn't have made it this far. So I want to commend the players for the great spirit that they've shown up until now.
Coach, you've been in the playoffs before. I know we still need to win your games, we still need to compete with the winners of the other stream before we talk playoffs, but you've been there before. What do you think we'll need to do differently this time around to be able to win the playoffs and take that team to the NFD?
Yeah, honestly, I went to the playoffs as a young coach. The time when I went there, I believe I'm a better coach than I was before. Having gone to Atlantic Africa to TS Sporting, spending 18 months in the Atlantic Africa at TS Sporting, it made me a better coach. I'm seeing things better. I'm doing things differently. I believe my deficiency at the playoffs at that time, it was my experience of managing the game during the game at the time. At times, I think when I look back at some of the matches, the subs that I made, that I could have done better with those subs. There's a lot of things that the pressure that I felt at the time compared to the pressure that I'm feeling now. I'm a better coach than I was that time, and honestly, in the season that I went to the playoffs, I never had a condition trainer in the club. I was the one who was training the players with the assistant coach. Honestly, now we have an edge having the conditioner, someone who is specific about training the players for certain type of competition, for certain period. It gives me advantage, honestly, in terms of the edge, and the number of experienced players that I have now in the team. Also, I never had so many at that time to be able to ease the pressure on the young ones. The type of under 23 players that I have now, experienced under 23s, some of them they played in the South Africa. So we are at a better space as a club, although we still learning as a football club. But as personnel, particularly in the technical team, particularly in the players, we have better knowledge, we are better experienced, better equipped compared to the season when I was the seasons when I went to the playoffs.
Coach, in the Nedbank Cup, you played against Sibiya from Mpumalanga. You are now going to play against Dynamos from KZN. Dynamos are through to the playoffs. They are the champions of KZN. Sibiya are favourites in Mpumalanga. So there's a chance that if you do make it to the playoffs, you might meet these teams again. You look at that as an advantage to you guys, as it will give you a better understanding of what they can offer. Do you think that draw has been very kind to you in that particular way, and the fact that you have not faced PSL teams like Motsepe, you had to face Sundowns? Do you think that's an advantage to you guys? Do you think that draw was kind to you?
Yeah, for us it's a kind draw. We are very grateful with the draw, because honestly the objective is to go to the playoffs, do our best to promote this football club. So we are benchmarking with these opponents that we have been facing. With Sibiya, it gives us a better picture. We had a better competition. They raised their game. We came back with better coaching points of what to expect going forward. Even Summerfield Dynamos, you look at them, you look at the number of professionals they have, you look at the type of coach that they have in Coach Clinton Lassen. It's going to be a good assignment for us. We'll come back better from that game, and yeah, we will have a better idea and better preparation going into the playoffs.
Coach, Dynamos are recently crowned the champions of KZN in the ABC Motsepe League. Their spirit is very high now. Like you said, they've got the experience of Clinton Lassen there and some very experienced players in their team. They've only conceded 9 goals in the 18 games in the league. They seem to be a very organized team that is difficult to beat. And it's the same with you guys. You've only considered, I think, 5 goals in the league.
Yes.
So how will you be approaching this game without revealing your tactics? Maybe you don't want Dynamos people to be listening and think, this is what Coach Sibiya will do, but without revealing much. How are you approaching this game?
Yeah, honestly, it's a cup match. If you don't concede, you are halfway in terms of winning a match. The longer we don't concede, the better for us. And then honestly, this season we have scored in all the matches that we have played, except one match. In all the matches in the Nedbank, in the league. So we are a team that knows that will score a goal in a match. We know that we will score a goal against Summerfield on Sunday. So we need to defend well. It's a cup match. You don't have to open yourself, end up conceding too early, end up conceding first, having to chase the game, playing against all the tactics that will be there, the time delaying tactics and all that. So we should defend better. We should defend better to stand a chance of going through. But me saying that, we have our own blueprint of playing. When we have the ball, we know exactly how we want to behave, what we have to do to be able to stretch the opponent and get that goal that we need. So yeah, it will be a game of small margin. We know Summerfield, how they play. They defend with 6-7 players. So we we are ready. It's going to be an interesting game, but it's going to be a game of small margin.
Coach, last one. When I spoke to the chairman and the coach of Mataitai, they admitted that their Nedbank Cup run affected their league form a bit. But looking at on your side, it has not affected you. You are still on top of the log. What have you done to ensure that as you progress in the Nedbank Cup, it doesn't affect you in the league? And how are you going to maintain that should you progress further in the competition?
Yeah, honestly, my experience in the ABC Motsepe has taught me a lot. I listen to so many chairmen of the club when I get a job. What does they want with their club? Certain chairmen, they will tell you they don't want the Nedbank. The Nedbank is disturbing. They had qualified for Nedbank before. They were disturbed. They never did well. But when I look at all the aspects that could have contributed, mistake that we make as a coach is recruiting players because they are under 23 players. Going into the Nedbank, you can't play those players because what they can only offer is age, not their talent, which can help them to play anytime, anyway. So now, what I did, I had 2 players started in the Nedbank of under 23 against Sivuza. And then on the bench, I had another 3 players, which gives you 5 players for the league. We played on Sunday. After that game, on Wednesday, we played against TUT. That time, TUT was sitting second on the log. I needed 5 of these boys. So already they are motivated. They are coming from the Nedbank Cup game. We went there. They played their best. In fact, I started with 6 against TUT, 623. They did well. Even the ones that remained, they did well because they see that the coach believes on us as under 23s. Other teams, when you go to Nedbank, all of a sudden they want to use all these overage players. They leave the under 20. When you come back there, these players they don't trust you. They don't believe in the team. They don't believe that you believe on them. So that is one of the things that I felt as a coach, that they disturb you. So even now going into Durban's game, we have some of these boys because they are capable of doing a job. We didn't sign them, we didn't recruit them because of just to fill up the under 23 space. That is the mistake that other people are doing. We need to tick the boxes when we identify the players. We need to make sure that the players they fit into our philosophy. We must not recruit the players based on age. That is one of the downfall of many.
Coach, that is very, very critical because we see games in the regional league as well as the ABC Motsepe league where first 20 minutes substitutions are being made, and those substitutions are not tactical. They are about taking out the kids and bringing the older players because the team wants to win, and that then fails the entire concept of wanting to develop players. What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, one of the mistakes that I did also as a coach when I was still young, like I said, I was young, I used to do that also. But it goes with the game insight of a coach. You grow with time. My player recruitment at the time was poor, honestly, if I can put it that way, brutally, honestly. So now I'm a better coach. I know what to look for in a specific department when I recruit players. I know which box I must tick. I made better recruitment. Hence, I'm saying I played team that was second on the log. Started with 6 under 23s. Made 1 substitute of under 23 at half time. Played with 5 under 23s until 65 minutes. Took out 2. Finished the game with 3. You see, it shows the type of under 23 players that we have. We have players under 23s that played even in the Atlantic Africa. We have Sakile Mchali, who played for Richards Bay. Last season he was in the playoffs with Richards Bay for promotion to the PSL. We have under 23 who played for Glendine. Glendine was the champions of Western Cape. They were in the playoffs at Mpumalanga. We have Boyki Mudisa King. He was at Amazulu in the PSL. I signed him at TS Sporting in the NFD the beginning of this season because I was still there. We have Kagiso Ndlovu, who was at Jomo Cosmos for 3 seasons before I signed him at TS Sporting in the beginning of this season. And then we have Kalefa Mbatsi, who played for Obit. Obit is competing every season in the ABC Motsepe Northwest. We have Tepo Madlopa from Mpumalanga is also an experienced under 23 player who has coached by Coach Benson Mklongo last season. We have a goalkeeper under 23, Sibiya from TS Sporting in the Atlet Africa. So you see, it's players that can play. It's not players that are here because of age and then filling the gap of under 23s. So it's a mistake that we make and we learn. And honestly, if you look at the experienced coaches like Coach Clinton, I watched their game last week when they play against France, the final of the stream. He never made a substitute in 10 minutes. He never made substitute up until halftime. So now you understand that his experience, he recruited proper. You go and watch another game there, you see a coach is making that substitute just after 5 minutes. Then you understand that it's the deficiency of a coach when it comes to player recruitment, unless it's a forced substitute where you have to substitute a player based on injury. But yeah, it depends with the budget also. Can you be able to afford to get all these players that I'm talking about? So sometimes it's not deficiency, sometimes it's factors that are influencing that are beyond the coach's control. So we need to consider all that. Even me, if I was coaching just a team that is there to survive, it was not going to be easy for me to get players from the Richards Bay, from TS Sporting and all that. So there's a lot of contributing factors.
Coach, before we let you go, where do you want to see yourself as a coach, say in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in terms of the leagues that you will want to be coaching at, in terms of what you will have achieved in 5 years?
Yeah, I'm a coach that believes in giving unknown players chances to grow and become better players, which I've did. There's so many players that are in the PSL now. The captain of TS Galaxy, Bohuso Sanoka, was coaching him, that boy. There's Mahau Mukate at TS Sporting, there's Sibuso Hlubi, who said Skukuni, there's Kamakhala Sitole, who said TS Sporting. There's a couple of players. It makes me happy to see them progressing, but now as a coach also, I feel now it's the time for me to make it in the Premier League, be it assistant coach, be it head coach. I believe I'm far better than what I was before as a coach, and when we're talking about 5 years, I should be better in terms of my qualifications, in terms of my knowledge, in terms of being in the PSL setup. One would also say exactly in that 5 years, just after 3 years, at least one should be knocking in the doors of the national team.
Coach, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it, and all the best in your Nedbank Cup encounter against Dynamos.
Thanks a lot.